When I woke up 7 years ago, I had no idea that it would bring me to this. I was over 250 pounds. I was overweight. I was afraid of my own shadow. I was afraid of the dark. I was afraid of a lot of things. And I didn't know that there was joy in the world, or wonder in the world, or light, or laughter. I didn't understand that there was a need for energetic and psychic protection, and I didn't understand that there was light and love and that joy is freedom. I didn't know that. I was in so much pain. All I could do was ask myself, what do you do with your life when you're no longer distracted by pain? That was the question that kept coming up in my mind. And I set out to answer that through my years of, juicing in the beginning, when I was 18 on, teaching people about juicing, helping people to, discover health in different ways. And initially I studied to be a personal trainer. I went from that to, floundering here and there at different jobs, and then finally settling in and deciding that I wanted to do something with alternative health. I used to do performance art and a lot of things. There was a lot of wonderful things that I had the opportunity to do. Every one of those things informed who I am and what I do now as a light worker and a healer. And I set out to take care of myself, and I set out to make my health my business. And I did that. And I did it because the way that I did it from a place of, I'm going to do this so that no one can take it away from me. And I realized in my journey that I created that reality, that I was always battling to keep something as opposed to creating the space for my health and my emotional health, my mental health, my physical health. When I started training as a raw food chef, I thought that was the answer, the end all and be all. As you see the video on my GoFundMe page and the video on my site, that's what I thought was going to change the world. I had been taught that. I grew up, I was inundated with the food pyramid and the things that you were supposed to do. And when that didn't resonate with me and I found raw food, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and sprouted grains, I thought that was what was going to change the world. And the reality was it didn't. I worked out for, I ate some of the most beautiful food. I work with a couple of the top raw food chefs in the community. And for me, it was not, I couldn't lose a pound. And why did that happen? My water wasn't right. The water I was washing in was full of chemicals and trauma. And so my body couldn't let go of any weight because the weight was actually protecting me from those chemicals and trauma. My body was depositing fluoride in the fat cells to protect me. And when it stopped doing that, I was sweating all the time. My hair was falling out and thinning. My thyroid was out to here. I went and I did the conventional things you do. You feel sick, you go to the doctors. And I had conversations where it was like, well, something's wrong with you, so here, take a pill because the pill is going to fix it. It's not in your head, but I'm walking around and I'm having a hard time breathing and I'm overweight. And I remember saying to one of the doctors, I said, I don't drink soda. People talk about soda. I don't drink soda. The carbonation hurts my throat. It always has. So since a child, I don't drink soda. And she looked at me like I was just crazy. Like, yeah, okay, you don't drink soda, and I didn't have those things, and so, I had all of this happen to me. I had all of these experiences that didn't resonate with me. And I was trying to build my life on what I thought someone else thought was going to be right, until I went to my heart and I said, what is it that I need? What are the answers and the solutions? And they started to reveal themselves. And I started taking care of my water. I started addressing the constipation that I was told was normal. You know, once I took care of my water and I started making sure that I was sleeping, suffering from insomnia till the age of 38 years old, and knowing that, you know, every time I picked up the phone, oh, being embarrassed of being tired when I was suffering from insomnia, I couldn't sleep because my environment was infecting me, because my food wasn't right. And again, when I say my food wasn't right, it wasn't that my food was played a major role in it. It was that I wasn't eating high vibrating food that I loved. You know, I was eating what I had out of a sense of survival. And that frequency is not going to be helpful to my body. You know, I had relationships that, because I did not understand how to love myself, I couldn't give love. I didn't create the space for love. You know, I learned you meet your foundational needs, you meet your safety and security, you meet your need for love and belonging. And it doesn't have to be in that tier, because once I awakened and I had my own spiritual journey, my awakening became my priority and I excelled at it. And I excelled at it before I understood meeting my foundational needs. And there was a point where I did meet my foundational needs. It was easy to meet my foundational needs. But then the water started to change and the water started getting worse. And so I didn't understand. I thought it was something that was off with me, or you know, I had to suffer. It was my spiritual journey. And none of those things were true. All of those things were distractions. And I share this with you because I just want to share a little bit about me and what brought me to the moment that I am right now, to the beauty that radiates from within me and around me, because I found out that divine love is the one true power, and that loving myself unconditionally, integrating the fragmented parts of me into my heart for healing, those are the things that change my body from that person that was over 250 pounds. Those are the things that change my emotional intelligence. Those are the things that change me mentally. Those are the things that help me to create the space and understand that there are amazing, wonderful things from the basic foundational needs that are easy and effective and easy to apply and have nothing to do with whether or not you have money in your pocket. Some of them are really, really simple. It's just adding in supplements. And then other things are dealing with the energetic and emotional first aid that we all should have, that we don't even address in our lives. You know, we have these experiences and we see things out the corner of our eye, or we see things on people, or we have feelings and we always dismiss them because we're so distracted by the pain in our lives, or distracted by the relationships or the environment, that we don't have enough time to just stop and be present with ourselves and recognize that, wait a minute, there's got to be something better. The moment that a problem is created, the solution is created at the exact same moment. Ken Rolla. What is so wonderful that all of this has been created to distract us from it? What is so wonderful? These are the questions I ask. I ask, what is so wonderful? I ask, are you ready for joy? Because joy is freedom. And I help you to disarm the self-sabotaging things that we do because we don't understand what is facing us when we feel joy. There used to be a time, every time I felt joy, I felt like I had to shake it off. I felt like I had to hurry up and call 50 million people and tell every single person about the joy until I spent it, because I didn't understand that there was a curse on joy. It didn't relate to me. It didn't make any sense to me. You know, how come I'm overexcited? I didn't understand that I needed to understand what that joy meant to me in that moment. It's like when people win the lottery and they feel like all this stuff starts happening to them and they start to self-sabotage because they don't know what is facing them energetically and emotionally and in their sleep that comes at them because they're unaware of it. But I help you to be aware of those things so that you can disarm them and then integrate those fragmented parts into your heart. And so you're aware of what you're facing and experiencing. And in being aware of what you're facing and experiencing, you can replace reaction, replaying the traumas of whatever is undermining your successes and your happiness and your joy, and learn how to respond to them and be present and fully present with them. This is me speaking from my heart. Our children are facing entities and energies and low vibration frequencies And there are simple solutions to change you and your environment, not just for you and your children, but even for your animals that come into your life. But we a lot of us, we're trying to subdue the people around us because of the way that we feel, because we're trying to be the caregivers and the nurturers and the leaders. But we can't, we're unable to lead from a place of pain. We're unable to fix someone from a broken place. You can't help and inspire. I know, because I tried it. I did it for years. And yes, did I, plant seeds in people? Did I change a lot of lives? Absolutely, I did. At the same time, the change came, and it was the most profound change when I changed me, when I changed how I responded, when I changed what I did to love myself, when I decided I needed a joy practice, when I looked at my hands, because people would say you need to love yourself, and I had no idea how to do it. But I watched my godson, and I watched him look at his hands. And when he looked at his hands in this little bitty body of his, and he recognized he was in his body, I thought, well, I don't know how to love myself, but if this little baby is looking at his hands and like, oh, I'm in my body, I'm going to start there. And I started loving my fingernails, my fingers, and my hands, my wrists, my lower arms, and my elbows. And those are the things that brought me to the next level of my life. It started with standing there looking down at my feet. I love my toes, my toenails, and the bottom of my feet. It started with me loving me and then sharing what I knew as I evolved with those who sought it. Because I used to try to drag as many people kicking and screaming with me. And it didn't work. You can only help people who want to be helped. And when you're doing the right thing, it's easy, it's effortless, it flows. Those are the things that I want to share with those who want it. I want to share the energetic ways of changing your environment and raising your vibration. I want to share the magic and mystical, wonderful things that I have found in the elementals and the wonderful beings that are all around us, that are there to help us for the highest and best good. I want you to understand how to close your core so trauma doesn't hit you. And I want you to understand what to do with those emotions that you feel overpowered and overwhelmed by. And because you just never learned how to take those and direct them in the right way as an empath, I can show you what worked for me. It worked for me to say, I have this overwhelming emotional feeling. It's grief, it's sadness, it's anger, it's frustration. And it is a catalyst because I can transmute that energy with changing my focus from the fear to what I want for the person. And I was given that gift. I was given the gift of being an empath. I've always had the gift of being an empath so that I could share how to heal instead of being overwhelmed by an event. If that event has been brought to my attention and my awareness, that means that I can affect change in that event because I create my reality with my thoughts, beliefs, and actions. And instead of focusing on the fear, I can focus on the love of the situation or the person or the circumstance. And I can take that energy, the energy of the anger, the energy of the overwhelm, the energy of the fear, and transmute that energy into divine love. Transmute that energy into what I want for the person. Even someone who is going through something that's tragic or sad, I can focus on the love. And I can focus on that, and I can effect change in that person or situation or circumstance. A positive thought is 1,000,000,000,000 times more powerful than a negative thought. These are the things that I know. These are the things that I understand. I understand that if your water's not right, you're not right. Our water is facing this trauma. It always has been. If you turn on your faucet, that means that water has faced trauma. And I can show you how to change that so that water complements you and helps you to raise your vibration. And I can show you how to sleep so you're not suffering from insomnia. and not feeling like somebody's watching you in your house, so that you can change the ley lines and lay some copper rods around your house and raise the vibration of what is around you to help with communication and motivation. At the same time, I'm going to grab something. At the same time, I can share with you art that serves a purpose, art that helps to inspire, art that actually helps with communication, that stops nightmares in children, that raises the vibration. And this is fancy and it's great and it's beautiful. But there are also something as simple as a 65-cent wire that you can place around your baseboards and change your life. And those are the things that I've learned that have helped me so far. And you can go into more detail and depth with things like this, or you can make it as simple as possible. And I show you how to do all of those things with the way that I live my life. These are the things that I've applied in my own life for my own self. My specialties range from the paranormal to the practical, you know, from the metaphysical to the magical to the mystical. And I have had these gifts since I was a child. I can, you know, feel energy and entities, and I can see them on people, and I can help you to increase your love vocabulary, your encouragement vocabulary, your, you know, self-love and self-compassion vocabulary. And I can also help you to name the things that we get ashamed of, how to release those shames, how to integrate those parts of you, how to take care of your energetic body, your energetic first aid, and your energetic hygiene. Things that we've never been taught and that we should have been taught. I can help you with. These are the things that I'm very passionate about. I created something called Little Gods for psychic and energetic protection of children, because I was the child that needed to be protected. And I do it in a way that releases fear and that replaces fear with response and with empowerment. Because if you understand the things that you can do, you can always find a way in other people who you can communicate with. You're not the only parent going through it. You're not the only aunt or uncle or caregiver going through it. Your animals and your pets are having these same experiences as your children are. And so I help you create the environment and the space around you, within you, and around you that can help you to raise your vibration and to seek and be that higher love. You know, I say, my name is Lynette Crosby. I do things differently. I empower your heart, your mind, your ship, your rules. You want the instructions to the suit that is your mind, your body, and your energy body? I have solutions that I can share with you. And I share them from my heart. And I share them with those who seek them. Nobody gets left behind or forgotten. Nobody. It's all about divine right timing, and we are all on the right path to move forward, to raise our vibration, to take things to the next level, because that is our divine birthright. We get to be happy. We get to experience joy and love and laughter and higher love and divine love. And I want to share that with those who seek it. So my name is Lynette Crosby. I created rlta.com. I ask you to follow along with me. I'll be doing things on Instagram and Periscope. I am moving to a brand new state to start over fresh and, you know, get a fresh start and step out my comfort zone and do things I've never done, things that make me afraid. And that, you know, I went and bought a phone today. And for me, that was a scary experience. You know, I was stepping out of my comfort zone. I've had the pleasure and the gift of not having to buy a phone for a very, very long time. And this phone that I bought, was the scariness of it was that I was buying it because I was moving to a brand new state. And I had to center myself and figure that out. But I don't push down my fears. I process them. And then they help me to become whole and stronger. And it may start with a phone or discovering how to learn about ley lines and whatever else interests me and is my passion. But I share that with those who seek it. So I will end with this, and I will say thank you for your time. Thank you for your love and your support and your motivation of yourself. Continue to love you, because when you love yourself, you become overflowing, and then you can give where you're overflowing. And I'm in a place where I'm learning to receive now. And I'm so, so grateful for your presence. I'm grateful for your energy, and I'm grateful for your contribution to this world. And if you choose my GoFundMe campaign, I hope this finds you well. Have faith in yourself and have faith in humanity. And I will talk to you soon.